Hello. I was talking about industry privatization the other day. Totally normal conversation, I know, entirely normal. But the opposing party caught me off guard. They pose corporations as being evil, declared because of their pursuit of wealth, and the same goes for those that run them. Now, I found this off-putting. To me, evil means understanding something is wrong, yet doing it anyway. I see corporations as not being necessarily indifferent, but certainly disengaged to human well-being. If hurting people makes money, whatever niche that may be, it will be filled. A virus, no intent to harm but is a set of rules and conditions that are overall harmful. Capitalism, by nature, is a system neutral in morality, but that's what allows it to hurt people far more often than help them. As people, we understand that wealth disparity and exploitation is bad, which is why most people aren't capitalists. An obvious conclusion to draw from that is that at least capitalists themselves are evil. But while I believe capitalists are inherently selfish, necessarily arrogant, overall are negative in human history, Jesus, I'm making this hard for myself, I disagree with the statement that the average bourgeoisie is inherently evil. I think blaming individuals, though it's well deserved, miscalculates how corrupting standardized currency as a system is, and how it enables a culture that declares harmful actions as virtue. In other words, I doubt that capitalism is evil, but I think it's a stupid and overall harmful way to run a society. Let me explain. Imagine a small Stone Age commune in the middle of a forest. Everyone lives simple lives using their skills to create for their fellow man. Some hunt, some farm, some make pottery, some tell stories. All are valued by their friends and are deemed useful in some way. But one day their village begins to experience a series of predacious attacks from a wild bear. Most of the inhabitants prepare to kill the bear, but are halted by request of the village priests. They state the bear to be a manifestation of an omnipotent force, a natural law that they must feed, for if they fight against it, they'll only face further consequence. And so, food is left out for the bear every night and the attacks stop. After some time, the bear has grown so fat it can no longer stand on its own. So much time and effort has been wasted on nurturing this useless, harmful bear that you may as well just keep going for the sake of it. My point is, the problem with the bear is made up. The issue only exists because everyone has agreed that the bear is a good idea. All they have to do is walk over and kill it, now easier than ever, and yet no one does. This is capitalism. Just like communism, there are still laborers, there is still product being made, there is still trade amongst people, except there's also a state-sanctioned mechanic added that consumes and shits out empty calories of value, for no reason other than, well, it's imperfect, but we still make it work, and besides, we're used to it now. Now in this analogy, the people play themselves. They're made up of a bunch of workers and a select group that, for cultural, intersocial, or personal reasons, the majority listen to. In any other situation, the villagers would subvert the bear problem entirely. They would kill it. But these priests proclaim that the best system they have is to not fight the bear, but to accept that a portion of their resources and output are going to be put toward this eternal, parasitic hole of inefficiency, and it's the right thing to do. And here's the thing, the priests genuinely believe it. Their life experiences, subjective wisdom, and worldview have led them to this conclusion that feeding the bear will bring them more prosperity than a way of life with no bear, no matter how overt the benefits may be. They are a product of their culture and are convinced grabbing the nearest baby and throwing it at the bear is how the world works. Are they evil? Now, for a story less analogous and more direct. Imagine, if you will, being born in a capitalist society. Hard to render, I know, but stick with me. From day one, you are surrounded by infrastructure that, as far as you're told, wouldn't be possible without money. Your uncle owns a small business that makes him a hard, humble worker. His eternal chase for sanctioned value is virtuous because, as far as he's told, he's helping everyone when he helps himself. You go to a private school, you receive an education that many would consider invaluable by anyone's standards, yet should be shared amongst everyone. But it's not invaluable. It's in fact $30,000 a year. It's that number, it's right there, look at it. But somehow not worth sharing freely because that number isn't zero. As far as you're told, your privileged childhood would be impossible without money. Now, fast forward. You're 50. You have continued to reap the continuous benevolence of wealth and have even prospected a source of income, making life even better for you and those you care about. Perhaps you're at the helm of a company that supports many families, all working under you, definitely in eternal gratitude that you have delegated a portion of your means to survive to your fellow, coincidentally not as prosperous, citizens. One day, a brilliant plan strikes you. Bottled water. It's like regular water, but now money is involved. Good on you, chap. Your idea will grant you and those working for you more money, therefore higher living standards for your children and their children, therefore a righteous and compassionate move. But hold on. A crowd of people stand outside your obnoxious office building. A proletariat crowd, odd. Aren't they supposed to be earning money by earning me money? Move along, subservients, don't force me to fire you! They call out and demand that you stop funneling water out of their local region. Their rivers have stagnated and shallowed, their lakes diminished. Foolish excrementals, don't they know I pay tax on siphoned water? A portion of my well-deserved prosperity already secretes from my now emaciated wallet. You, labourers, look! I bring gifts, jobs, and money for your local community in the form of tax! Now you can afford to buy this bottled water. Imagine it! So much more money circulating the economy because of our mutual sacrifices. Thank me later! Truth is, those locals collectively do indeed have more money than they would have held previously. But not only do they have no water, the local council has to buy it from the next town over at an exorbitant markup. Not only do they lack a resource that would have otherwise been in abundance, but the money they have to mitigate that scarcity simply doesn't go as far, all because their circumstances were less fortunate than the man with surplus prosperity. The needy are now more desperate, while the satiated procure more embroidered eggs for their mezzanine's indoor pool. You enjoy the dizzying heights of the balcony you stand on, so far away from the risk of malnourishing every wanton need. Every day a new story is constructed. Pretty soon there are so many floors under you that the higher you go, the less people there are who can feasibly travel those heights with you. Hell, some of the floors are empty. Some of the floors were designed really short, and others really tall. You'd be scooting along for years before you get to the next level. And you never really paid attention to whether or not the elevator was being maintained, so let's face it, the people all the way at the bottom are never reaching the top of those stairs. But perhaps their kids could, so who cares, sounds fair enough. But hey, you're at the top of the tower, you're happy. Look at that view. Plus, you installed a private hospice, a kitchen, a lounge room, even a bowling alley, though you don't like the game. Your kids live up on that tower with you, and when you're gone, they'll add floors too, same as you did. Because you teach them that's how to become happy. That's the right thing to do. And within a few more floors, you won't even have to hear the pleading crowds below you, not that you can make out what they say anymore. Alright, story time over. In a capitalist economy, currency, something created to wholly subsidize the intangibility of subjective value and standardize trade, is given inconceivable and, more importantly, unwarranted attributes. Because it is the sole gateway to knowledge, to power, to love, shelter, food, water, the list goes on, it is those things. Money is to a capitalist economy what God is to a monotheistic religion. Your life sucks, a just punishment ordained by the powers that be. Work at McDonald's and you shall find peace. I know, shh. That's just how things are. Money doesn't represent what is owned, but represents the potential to thrive. It's an unfounded value under arbitrary influence from a vast sea of factors and causes. And somehow, we collectively agreed, or rather a few agreed for us long ago, that it regulates your well-being and lifestyle. And somehow, yet again, charity under capitalism is not a moral obligation, but a personal sacrifice. You do not earn by helping those below you, you earn by helping those above you. I'm going to stop there because charity is a topic for another video and I don't want this to be an hour long, subscribe for that, but I hope you can see that there's a lot of reasons to hoard wealth in any given democracy, quote unquote, under capitalism. So, back to my original point. If being evil means overt malevolence, understanding that what you're doing is definitely majority wrong, even if it's only 51 parts wrong, 49 parts right, and is just barely hurting someone overall, is the generic CEO that? I'm going to preface my conclusion with an admittance that I very much do think evil exists, and I especially think that evil actions exist even if the perpetrator is not majority malignant. And I very much do think that there are many evil CEOs. But in a system where everyone is telling you to make money, where your parents will be at their proudest when you own a second home and milk some university student for their part-time income, where success means being surrounded by people who have money and talk all about it, I think it's hard not to have bias. Just as the priests who genuinely thought that with all their heart feeding a baby to the bear was overall a good action in the long run, a CEO will look at all their friends at the board meeting and think, wow, we're so happy, as they approve siphoning water from the next town over. Because at that moment, with 50 years behind them of being told that money is beautiful, money is unbiased, money is life, they truly believed pursuing it was the right move. Because if he didn't, his stockholders would suffer, his employees would be laid off, and he'd lose his position as CEO. It's not that he's ignoring suffrage, rather that he focuses on the wrong people. Because he's being told that that's the right thing to do by everyone around him, and he repeats it back. People thriving under capitalism, a system that necessitates someone suffers in return, is evil. But I think that the majority of capitalists justify it to themselves. They think it's 49 parts bad, 51 parts good. Even if they can't logically explain it, there is a concrete belief deep within them that this system is just and is the best thing humanity has to offer throughout its transition to globalism. That deep down, they are not bad people. To be evil means they believe what they're doing is wrong. I truly believe that they don't think any given action of theirs is overall wrong, just imperfect. I think capitalism rewards evil, but I don't think it or its beneficiaries are evil. I think they just need to be stopped because what they're doing hurts people. Thank you for watching, or mostly listening to me yap on. I'm sure everyone has a lot to say on this video. Please discuss it in the comments. I really enjoy conversations about this stuff, and if I'm wrong, good, I should learn more. See you all later, like and subscribe.